Hey, Magic Maker fans, we're here with the beautiful Ashley, and we're going to show you a card trick. What do you think?
I'm excited.
She's easily pleased, trust me. Ashley, we have a little deck of cards here. They're all mixed up, as you can see, not in any particular order or anything. And we're going to mix the cards up even more, but in a slightly unusual way. I'm going to mix some face up into some face down. Don't try this at home without your parents' permission. And even then, consider it carefully. Don't worry, Ashley, playing cards don't feel pain like we human beings. So we give them a little shuffle face up and face down. Squeeze them together. Now, just in case you think I was being a little sneaky there, let me just show you they are actually all mixed face up and face down. Smile, Ashley. It's show business. Give them a wave out there. See, they're all your fans. They're just watching this thinking, well, there's a gorgeous woman and there's a guy in the background doing a card trick somewhere, but I missed it completely. Ashley, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my back. I'm trusting you here. And I want you to take any one of the face-up cards and turn it face down and put it back in the deck. It doesn't have to be in the same place. It can be anywhere in the deck. But one of those face-up ones, turn it face down and remember it. Dun, dun, dun. Can you do that? Here we go, folks. I'll turn my back. Just let me know when you've done it, Ashley. Ashley moving speedily. Always nice to see. You done it yet, Ash? She's done it! Fantastico! Now, actually, I could have just memorized all those face-up cards and seen which one is missing, but that's not what we're going to do, Ashley. Instead, you're going to do the little magic wiggle over the deck. Fantastico. Did you see what happened?
No.
Ashley, check this out. Each and every card turned face down, with the exception of just one card. And I'm guessing from the look of pure astonishment on your face that it's yours.
It is mine.
That's the Triumph deck. And I think this is mine. And now, let's look at the basic routine with the spectator in place and see the reaction it gets. Whew, you won't believe it. Okay, now here we have Sheila, and we're going to do a little card trick with you, Sheila. Can you handle it, my darling?
I hope so.
I think she's ready. Let's see if she can do it. We've got a little old deck of cards here, all mixed up. So mixed up they may need help, they may need therapy, as my good old buddy Paul Harris would say. Let's split the deck into two halves. One face up, one face down. Little spooky, little strange, but then I am a strange man, as you know, my darling. We're going to shuffle these cards together just as so. That means, and I'm not joking, that they are mixed all face up and all face down. Am I right?
Yeah.
You can join in. It's okay. Don't panic. Don't be afraid of me. Don't look like a deer caught in the old headlights of a car there. I'm going to turn my back on you, my darling, and I'm going to ask you to turn any one of those face-up cards, the ones that have got their faces showing, face down. And remember it. Do you think you can handle that?
I can handle it.
Fantastico. She's quite the girl. I turn away from you and leave you to look at the gorgeousness of this young lady, turning the card face down. I'm even covering my eyes. Just let me know when you've done it. Moving with the speed of a one-legged hamster in a brick pulling contest. That's good. Oh, you've done it, you've done it, you've done it. Now, you may think I could have just memorized all of those cards so that I would know which one you turned face down. So let's gather them up and just put the deck over there. So now I can't possibly know which card you chose, can I?
I hope not.
She thinks not. But let's try and do something a little more magical. The old magic snap, as first measured at the Tokyo Olympics in 1927, which is unusual because they didn't have one that year. Yeah, I know. But let's check out the magic. If we spread out the deck, each and every card turns face down, except for one. that will be yours.
Yes, it is.
Are you amazed?
I am very amazed.
Okay, let's run off to a nearby motel immediately. Okay, my friends, here's the basic routine that we just did on Sheila. And actually, she's just gone off to hospital to have some insulin or something because she was so astonished and amazed. Very simple setup. You have half the deck, which are your normal cards, followed by half the deck, which are your double backers. You can casually fan out the bottom half of the deck, saying the cards are mixed up. Obviously, don't go too far because you don't want to be showing the back. So just spread over like 20 cards or so. It looks like you're spreading the cards nice and wide. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to look through the deck with the backs of the cards towards them and look for the split point where the double backers are. At this point, you go down to the table, putting the double backers on one side and your normal cards on the other. I'm guessing you're way ahead of me here. Do a nice tight shuffle so that you don't flash the cards at all, of course, and push them together. Now you can really spread out the cards to show they're genuinely mixed up. You turn your back, they turn down any face up card. It really doesn't matter which one they turn face down. You don't care. So let's say they take the 8 of spades in this case. They turn it face down. Now, they don't even have to put it back in the same place. They can put it anywhere in the deck they like, face down. Here's your one sneaky little move coming up, my friends. As you close up the deck, just turn it over and put it to one side. Don't make a big deal out of this. Don't make it into a big move kind of thing. Just close up the deck and turn it over as you put it to one side. Now do your little fancy patter thing. You don't have to talk about Japanese Olympics, of course, although feel free to do so if you're as insane as me. Snap your fingers, spread the deck, and the whole deck is sorted out instantly, except for their card. I'm telling you, my friends, Paul Curry's cheek to cheek really doesn't get much better than that with cards. Okay, having learned the basic cheek to cheek, let's show you a couple of little variations you might like, and then we'll go into a little more depth on how to make the trick actually even easier for you. First things first, you don't have to riffle shuffle the cards together. Actually, a rather nice way to do it is to run through the cards to your split point again. Remember, keep the backs to them, and then spread both the sets of cards on the table and just kind of very messily push them together. Now, yeah, it's like a riffle shuffle, I guess, but you know, it looks more casual and more mixed up and more like you're out of control. So when you spread them, the cards are still going to be mixed up, but that's just a way of making it look as though you're a little more out of control. Now let's sort out the cards again and show you another version, because obviously, unless you carry a table around with you, you're not always going to have a table available. So you want to be able to do this thing in your hands as well. So let's just sort these little puppies out. And there you can see your reset is basically 30 seconds. Again, start with your cards exactly as we did before. And now if you're working walk around, in other words, I could throw this table away, but Rob, of course, would kill me because apparently it's a very, very expensive one. All you do is in your hands, spread the cards, and now you can riffle shuffle them together in your hands. Ask them to take any one of the face-up cards as you look away and turn it face down. Close up the deck and just turn it over casually in your hands. So now you don't even need to have a table. How great is this trick? All you need is the deck of cards. Now I'm going to show you a way to make it even easier to do. I'm so giving. Okay, I'm going to show you another couple of ways to do the trick as well. But first, here's a way to make it even easier. You see, sometimes you don't want to be looking through a deck if somebody's looking over your shoulder. So how do you get the split just right? Here's a good way. Take one of your double back cards and mark it. Now, there are various ways you can mark cards. Obviously, use your favorite method. I prefer vomiting on them, but you may prefer a different way. Here's one way to do it. You can scratch off with a pair of scissors or a knife. Younger viewers, be careful. Get mum or dad to help you here so that you can see. Let's just scratch this off for you. Do both corners, by the way, because you never quite know which way around your deck is. Just do a little scratchy, 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 scratchy. Oh, I think Rob just fainted. So you can see now at each corner, you can see exactly that card. Don't worry, they're not going to spot it. You could also, of course, use a pen and just color in a little bit of the card on the corner, just as so. Two ways to mark a card for you. So you can see, I mean, I've obviously exaggerated this dramatically for you. But you can see exactly which card that is. That's the card you want to set at the bottom of your double faces. Set it that side up, put the other cards underneath. Now when you spread through the cards to show it's a normal deck, duh, now you can spread through the cards and just look for your mark. And when you see the mark on the cards, just split the deck at that point. It's going to make the trick a whole lot easier for you because now you don't have to be looking for that card. All you have to do is just spread through and look for the mark. Take all the cards and the marked one to one side, turn the other's face up, and you're ready to rock and roll with your version of cheek to cheek. Hey, coming up, here's another version. You know, sometimes you don't just want to spread through the cards and have them turn one card face down. You want to make it more like a triumphy kind of thing and have a selected card. Here's a couple of ways to do that. You can spread through the cards, showing them to be quite normal, as you would do before. Show the backs of the cards. And now you're going to ask them to take a card. So you spread through the cards. They take any card they like. Let's say the 5 of spades. You're now going to run through the cards and shuffle their card back in, somewhere in the card. So let's take that card and let's pop it in, oh, I don't know. There, I guess, is a good place. Now we'll split the deck into 2 halves. One face up, one face down. Give them a little shuffle. You can do it in hands as well, of course. Pick up your deck, snap your fingers, spread through the cards, and all the cards are face down, apart from their freely selected card. Method coming up in just a sec. Okay, well, this one does involve a little sleight of hand, obviously, but I can teach you a way to do it without sleight of hand. Here's what I actually did right there. So I show the cards to be kind of normal, I guess, just as we've done before. Spread through the cards, looking for my marked card. I like the old marked card thing. But now I need these cards on top of the deck. So what I did was a pass action to bring those cards to the top of the deck. Now, if you're a pass kind of guy, it's a great way to do it because they've seen all the bottom cards, and even if they don't think they've seen the top cards, well, now they're taking from the top half of the deck. That exemplifies that it must be a normal deck. So you let them take a card from the top half, just as so. Now you just go to your split point. Just spread through the cards. Yeah, we'll give them a little mix-up. Hold your break. Give the deck a cut, cutting all your double backers back to the top. Shove their card in amongst the double backers. In other words, in the top half of the deck. So their card is right there. Now the work's all over. All you have to do is split the deck at your little old marked card, half face up, half face down, shuffle them together, do your little turnover, snap your fingers, spread the deck, and you've done cheek to cheek with a chosen card. Okay, so you're not a pass kind of person. So let's say you haven't sat down and practiced till your fingers bled to learn a good pass. You can still do this technique without a pass. All you're going to do is use your marked card to split the deck and cut openly. So let's just sort the old cards out again. There we go. So you start with all your double backers on top, normal cards on the bottom. So again, you can spread through your deck. Now just spread through to your marked card and say, oh, we'll just mix them up a little bit. Cut the deck at that point. Now you see, to normal people, cutting is about the same as shuffling. They don't honestly perceive the difference. If you cut a deck 5 times, they think that's the same as shuffling it. You and I, magic buddies, no, that's not the truth, but hey, we're magicians. We lie for a living. So just spread through the cards, say, well, mix them up a little bit, cut at your marked card. Now you've literally done an open pass, I guess, if you like to call it that. Spread through the top half, they choose one. Just spread through, cut again your double backers to the top, and it's exactly the same as the last routine now. All you're doing is popping their card into the deck. You can show it cleanly going in, go down to your marked card, again, shuffle them just as you did before, turn your turnover, and vam. You've done a passless version of the signing cheek to cheek, which is very good at a card trick, but not so good in a bar if you're trying to talk to a woman. Moving on. Another little thing you can do with your cheek-to-cheek deck, are there no ends to this deck? Well, actually, they are there and there, but you know what I mean. The trick that fooled Houdini, which Vernon always claimed to have done, it was on his business card. The man who fooled Houdini. Grr, grr, tiger, Mr. Die. And he did. But anyway, this is the little thing, and you can do it very cleanly with your cheek-to-cheek deck. It normally used just one double-backed card. And what you would do in the original is take a normal card. You don't forget, you got all your double backers on top of the deck there. Take a little break under 2, turn 2 cards over, and on the original you would put it second from the top. And in fact, quite a lot of people these days actually do a kind of Marlowe tilt move to make it kind of look as though it's going in the middle. But the original was just put it second from top and then turn over the top card. It was kind of cool. So you could do this, put it second from top, turn over the top card, turn it down, put it second from top, turn over the top card. The trick that fooled Houdini. But with your cheek-to-cheek deck, you can actually make it even cleaner. Because you've got a whole slew of double backers here, here's what you can do. Do your double turn. Now take the top card, which of course is one of your double backers, and shove it in somewhere in the top half. Now you can show it very cleanly going in, and their card is on top. It's like an almost semi-perfect, ambitious card routine. Turn the card down, show it going into the middle, bam, their card's back on top. Repeat until your spectators are gently snoring over a bottle of scotch in the corner of Nebraska. The trick that fooled Houdini. Okay, let's look at some of those extra cards that came with your Triumph deck, because of course you're all now out doing cheek to cheek, and a very fine thing it is too, my friends. Let's look at a version of McDonald's Aces using the Kings. So we'll call it McDonald's Kings. It's probably better than them being Queens, because I'm sure McDonald wouldn't like being called. We'll go through the deck of cards. We'll show you a very simple version of this. Actually, if you want more variations on McDonald's Aces, I highly recommend you go to your Magic Maker's distributor and get Packet Killer, which has a whole slew of stuff on McDonald's Aces. But for now, a simple version we'll call McDonald's Kings. We'll nip through the deck. There's King number 1, King number 2, King number 3, and indeed King number 4. King of Diamonds, he's the big boy. He's the good guy. Look, he's got an axe. My goodness me, you could take somebody's head off with that. Moving on. Let's pop 3 cards on each of the kings. Just as so. That's great. Get rid of the rest of the deck. We don't need no stinking deck, my little magic buddies. Let's just do it with the kings. Let's take King number 1, the old King of Spades. Armed with a sword, a violent evil man. Turn him face down. Yeah, I'm not joking, my friends. There is the old King of Spades face down on the packet. We'll snap our fingers. He gone. Maybe off to the Crusades. Maybe to find the Shroud and the Da Vinci Code. Let's take King number 2, and let's take King number 2 face up in our little packet of ordinary cards. Snap our fingers. He turns face down. Goodness me, maybe he'd had a little too much grog the night before and fallen flat on his face in the gutter. But no, instead, my friends, he gone. One more king to go. Let's take this little old king and we're going to pop him, face up in the little packet. Notice how he stabbed himself in the head from fear of the other kings. Little snap of the fingers. Nothing has happened yet. Apparently he has not died from the old sword in the head. Little wiggle though. He's gone. I'm not joking. He's really gone. Where did they go? Where did they go, my friends? I'm sure you've all guessed. To meet their little buddy. The King of Diamonds. And that's a simple McDonald's Aces routine. Simple, but it'll fry your audience. Okay, let's look at some of those extra cards that came with your Triumph deck, because, of course, you're all now out doing cheek to cheek, and a very fine thing it is, too, my friends. Let's look at a version of McDonald's Aces using the Kings. So we'll call it McDonald's Kings. It's probably better than them being Queens, because I'm sure McDonald wouldn't like being called. We'll go through the deck of cards. We'll show you a very simple version of this. Actually, if you want more variations on McDonald's Aces, I highly recommend you go to your Magic Maker's distributor and get Packet Killer, which has a whole slew of stuff on McDonald's Aces. But for now, a simple version we'll call McDonald's Kings. We'll nip through the deck. There's King number 1, King number 2, King number 3, and indeed King number 4. King of Diamonds, he's the big boy. He's the good guy. Look, he's got an axe. My goodness me, you could take somebody's head off with that. Moving on. Let's pop 3 cards on each of the kings. Just as so. That's great. Get rid of the rest of the deck. We don't need no stinking deck, my little magic buddies. Let's just do it with the kings. Let's take King number 1, the old King of Spades. Armed with a sword, a violent evil man. Turn him face down. Yeah, I'm not joking, my friends. There is the old King of Spades face down on the packet. We'll snap our fingers. He gone. Maybe off to the Crusades. Maybe to find the Shroud and the Da Vinci Code. Let's take King number 2, and let's take King number 2 face up in our little packet of ordinary cards, snap our fingers. He turns face down. Goodness me, maybe he'd had a little too much grog the night before and fallen flat on his face in the gutter. But no, instead, my friends, he gone. One more king to go. Let's take this little old king and we're going to pop him, face up in the little packet. Notice how he stabbed himself in the head from fear of the other kings. A little snap of the fingers. Nothing has happened yet. Apparently he has not died from the old sword in the head. Little wiggle though. He's gone. I'm not joking. He's really gone. Where did they go? Where did they go, my friends? I'm sure you've all guessed. To meet their little buddy, the King of Diamonds. And that's a simple McDonald's Aces routine. Simple, but it'll fry your audience. Okay, my friends, let's use some of those extra cards that came with your deck. Now, unfortunately, a little bit of investment required, or possibly just a run to your underpants drawer to find a spare deck of cards. You're going to need a standard red-backed or blue-backed deck of bicycle cards to perform a really cool effect with these little double-faced wonders. McDonald's Kings. McDonald's Kings, McDonald's Aces, if you will. I think it's a great classic of magic. This is a very simple way to do it that just about anybody with basic magic knowledge can do. Let's show you the setup. You're going to need your 3 double faces, and we just put those near the bottom of the deck, in about the first half of the deck. You're going to put your King of Diamonds a little further down, and the 3 normal kings, the ones with backs on, you're going to put 4th, 5th, and 6th from the top of the deck. Now, this isn't absolutely critical, but I like this little throw-off of being able to make it look as I'm laying out the cards very, very casually. So now we're going to go through the deck and take out the kings. Remember, you're taking out the double faces here, so don't be flashing the backs of them. So we take out our kings. We get to the King of Diamonds, put that down. If you're really fancy-pantsy about it, you can even flash the top few cards of the deck. Just don't show those other kings. That's very critical. Turn your King of Diamonds face down. And now you're going to casually lay 3 cards on each of the kings, but not quite so casually as some people might think. The first 3 cards go onto one of the other kings. Now you're back to your real kings here. Dump those on the King of Diamonds. Again, fancy-pantsy if you want. I prefer not to. You can casually flash cards as you put them down and just put 3 onto the other kings. What you actually have here now, 3 double-faced cards, kings up. 3 normal cards atop each one, and all of your real kings are here. So basically all you have to do is vanish them. Now, I did some very simple vanishes there. Let me show you those. And again, I'll refer you back to Packet Killer if you want some more and different ones. The first one, all I do is I take a break on the first odd card. So I put the old king there. So now I can do a double turnover showing the back of the king. This is actually a variation of a Bob Elliott vanish, and it's very, very clever. As you turn your hand down, you're going to do a glide. In other words, pull that bottom card back, so that now you're taking out the second card from the bottom to show that the king is really there. Let me show you that again. So we've got a break on 2 cards. We turn the 2 cards over so they see apparently the back of the king. This is a variation on a Bob Elliott vanish, and it's very, very pretty, very clever. As you turn your hand down, you're going to do a glide. In other words, put your fingers on that bottom card and just pull it back. And that's as your hand turns down. So they've seen what they think is the back of the king. Your hand turns down. Now you're actually pulling out the second card from the bottom, showing the face of the king. As you square up, they assume that must be the king. Throw those 3 down, bam, she's gone, or he's gone. Well, she may be, I don't know, maybe a woman in male dress, who knows. Second vanish is a simple Elmsley count. We take our double facer, stick it third, literally third from the top of the packet, openly, snap our fingers, do an Elmsley count. Looks as though the card has turned face down. Snap your fingers, turn them all face up, and the king has apparently gone. Okay, let's just rewind a little there and show you the Elmsley count for those of you that don't actually know it. And if you don't, you should, because my good old buddy Alex Elmsley has probably affected card magic more with that count, which, by the way, he called the 4 as 4 count, not the Elmsley count. Very modest young man. But let's go through it in detail for you, or vague detail. The card you're going to hide is third from the top. Hold the cards in the right hand, or if you're a lefty, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to adjust here. You'll notice the cards are buckled a little bit, just bowed a little bit between my fingers and thumb. I take the top card into a full position. I'm not a big fan of this kind of Elmsley count. I prefer this one. This actual count was designed for twisting the aces by Vernon. It works great for that effect, but for just about everything else, I prefer it this way. So we take one card. Now here's what you're going to do. As the hands come back together to apparently take the second card, you're just going to push. It's like a little mini block push-off, if you like. And if you pull with your fingers and push with your thumb, you'll find that 2 cards go across. So you come in, leave this card behind, and take the 2 you've pushed over, and then count those normally. That puts the hidden card at the bottom. So at speed, it's face-up card, but when you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like all 4 are face down, and now you can deal out the cards to show that the king has again vanished. The last vanish is actually one of my favorite ones. I thought I'd invented it, but I've later learned from somebody that emailed me that it actually goes back to a Roy Walton effect. So I'd like to congratulate Roy Walton for pre-inventing something that's actually mine. Okay. Again, we're going to do an Elmsley count with a double. So we take a break on just one of our cards, put the king on the face, and immediately lift off both. So you're actually holding 2 cards here. Turn the other 2 face down and just kind of squeeze them apart a little bit. You can squeeze them with your first finger and pop the double face up into the packet. Now you can show this very clean. It looks like the king is face up in the packet. We're now going to do 2 Elmsley counts. The first Elmsley count will show that the king is still there. Don't worry, this is automatic. If you've learnt an Elmsley count, this is automatic. Okay, the second Elmsley count is going to make the card vanish. And it's automatic. It just does it all for you. That's what's kind of cool about it. It looks like the card just changes. Let me show you that again, because this is such a pretty little action. So you've got your king. They see front and back of it. You do your Elmsley count. King's still there. Next Elmsley count, the king is gone. And you can show that card clean as a whistle. Turn the other 3 up. The king's really gone. So as you turn over to show that the 4 kings have all gone off to meet their buddy. That's McDonald's kings, or aces, or 3s, or whichever cards you're using. For the love of God, my friends, it's just a great trick, whatever the cards are. You know, you get another little card with your deck, and in fact, it's one of my favorite cards. At the point of redundancy, I'll encourage you to look at Packet Killer again, because there's a routine on there called the Blues Sisters that uses this card that I think is great. But for you guys here, it's a very simple little thing you can do with it. Let's say you bring out a deck of cards and we'll show them to be blue-backed cards. We'll spread through the deck, ask somebody to choose a card. I don't know, let's say they take the Jack of Diamonds. That would be just their kind of fun card. Snap our fingers. Surprise, surprise, Jack of Diamonds is not blue-backed. It's red-backed. Ah! But what's even more surprising, the whole deck is red-backed. And now you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, my friends, very simple little color changing deck routine, and I like things simple because basically I'm a very simple person. What we're using is a red-back deck of cards, normal deck, don't use your cheek-to-cheek deck here, and your card that comes with your little Triumph deck, the red-blue double backer. Start with that on top of the deck, blue back up. Now what you're going to do is a Hindu shuffle, and what does a Hindu? Lay eggs. Oh, ho, 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 how could we be so funny? Hindu shuffle, very simple. You show the bottom card, you take some cards from the face. Show the bottom card again, take some cards from the face. So basically you're showing them the same card all the time. But it's kind of a nice, natural flowing action. If you just keep it nice and frisky, it looks like you're showing a blue back deck, and why should they disbelieve you anyway? Put those cards to the bottom of the deck, which puts your blue back on the bottom. Now just spread through the cards, ask them to touch one, and say, in this case, the Jack of Spades. At this point, all attention is on the card on the table, so the tiny bit of sleight of hand you're going to have to do, it's really not that tough. You're going to do a Marlowe Pinky pull down of the bottom card. Now, if you don't think you can do that, you can just adjust the cards between your hands and scuffle around a bit to get a break on that bottom card. But trust me, a pinky pull down, practice for about 5 minutes and you got it for life. Very useful little move. At this point, as you move back away from them, in other words, leaving their card more isolated, all you're going to do is turn over that bottom card. That's it. That's your whole sleight of hand, my friends. Turning over a card. It's not like you have to fly or anything. So you just pull down, and as you come back, just turn over that bottom card. Very, very simple. Tricks all over. Snap your fingers. Bam. There's their card turned red-backed. And for your extra surprise at the end, there's the whole deck turned red-backed. And you know, you're left pretty clean because that double back is on top of the deck. So what you can do now is just put the deck away in your pocket, do a coin trick or a handkerchief trick or a napkin trick or a trick with a small llama called Colin. And then you're going to go back to your card tricks again, but when you bring out the deck, all you do is thumb off that top card. Now you're clean as a whistle, and you can go into whatever you want to do with all the evidence hidden away. Okay, my friends, one more little thing that I think you might like that you can do with your deck. Yeah, and I encourage you to play with these things. I mean, look up the books, look up DVDs and stuff to see what you can do with double back cards and double face cards. There's a ton of stuff out there. Here's a great little old classic. It basically involves two cards, the King of Spades and the Four of Hearts. It's a little two-card Monty effect. I'm going to take the Four of Hearts. I'm going to hide it behind my back. Which card is on the table? You'd say the King of Spades. No, no, no. I have the King of Spades behind my back. I'll do it again. I'll put the King of Spades down here, put the Four of Hearts behind my back. Hop. Got the King of Spades again. Now you can do this all blinky-blimey day if you want. It's just a very simple, fun little thing. You can also just put the card under the table and bring it up if you like. What it is? Simple double-backed card, double-faced card, and we're going to do kind of in-hands Mexican turnover, if you like. So you show the two cards, one face up, one face down. Well, hard to show it face up because it's got two backs on it, so it's always going to be face down. So you show the cards as so. Now, as we turn them over, you're just going to move your finger over a little bit so that it orientates correctly. So we have 4 of hearts, king of spades. Put your little double backer down on the table. Put this under the table. Put it behind your back. I'm sure some of you will think of very strange places to put it. Just bring it out the other way up, and you've done your little switcheroo. Turn over again. Repeat until lightly frosted and ready for serving to your dinner guests at 7 o'clock with a nice cool Chablis. That's the old 2-card Monty. There you have it, my friends. There's the Triumph deck. I hope you're going to have a whole lot of fun with it. I know I have. I don't use gaff cards that often, to be honest, but that's one little deck that is always in my pocket. Didn't want to kill you with credits, but of course, Paul Curry's Cheek to Cheek obviously has to be mentioned. The whole cards idea like that can actually be traced back to our good old buddy Theodore Deland, who, if you've seen some of my other DVDs, you'll know he pops up all the time. We've had Alex Elmsley's Elmsley Count, or 4 is 4 Count, and a whole slew more. If you've got any more credits, why don't you just email them to me and we'll store them in a bin. No, we won't. We'll put them on later DVDs, don't worry. But there you have it, my friends, the Triumph deck. Have fun with it, and have fun with all your future products from Magic Makers, a company that's dedicated to doing things right and giving you great product. See you soon. Simey, over and out.